Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Newcastle versus Arsenal second leg Carabao Cup semi-final. Newcastle leading 2-0. Can Arsenal get back? You know what? I think they can. I think they've got a good chance of coming back tonight. Newcastle have lost their last two home games in the Premier League. Arsenal putting 5 past Man City. Momentum and maybe a bit of nerves. Newcastle need to bounce back. It's 2-0. It's going to be difficult, but I think Arsenal have got a good chance tonight. Let's wait and see. Hope you're doing very well. Very excited about this one, as I said. And hopefully, well, look, the exciting thing is that Arsenal have got to go on the front foot, haven't they? I think sometimes Arsenal can be a little bit methodical, get the goal, defend well. They need to score 3. So we should be in for a scenario that makes it interesting. Anyway, just before we get into that, you might have seen it on Champions League nights. Just want to give a big shout out to Sleeper, who we're working with this season. If you don't know what Sleeper is, it was the top downloaded sports app in the US for the NFL season launch, surpassing ESPN and Yahoo. Millions use it daily for their sports fix. It's renowned for offering the best fantasy experience with unmatched depth and customization. And you can test your football knowledge with Sleeper's UCL prediction mode for free and compete for amazing prizes. Entries close before the first game, so don't wait on that one. And stay tuned as well as we dive deeper into all Sleeper has to offer throughout the season. So effectively, this is for the Champions League stuff. Download it for free and you can win real prizes, like to be fake, real prizes for free. That's basically what I was trying to say. But also there's loads of functionality on it. As I say, millions of people have downloaded it and really enjoy it. So check it out through the link in the description. And you can play against us, you can play against your mates. And as I said, you can scan that QR code next to me or go through the link in the description. You can also track your form, injuries, individual players' performances as soon as you open the app. And there's loads of videos and all sorts of stuff on there. So check it out through the link in the description. Thank you very much to Sleeper. Right, let's have a look what people are saying. Is there a video looking at mocking celebrations? Is there a video looking at mocking celebrations? I mean, I don't really... This is a good starting point tonight because we like to, on this community, talk about lots of different things and you're never going to get it from the mainstream because they're all part of the same scripted shit. But I think sometimes people do sort of set an agenda that I just don't get. I mean, look, I don't know whether it's possible, but I saw something today about should players who mock other people's celebrations get a yellow card, and I just think what woke world are we living in now then? I mean, it's funny because I was showing Seb and my daughter Keane and Vieira rivalry video today on YouTube where they're going at each other, and I was like, you know, this was amazing. I lived through this. If you had a Keane Vieira rivalry now, they wouldn't have got out of that tunnel. They'd have been banned for 10 games for arguing in the tunnel. And it's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in football. And I think Arsenal fans agree as well. I just absolutely loved that rivalry and that passion and that desire. And the fact that they were arguing in the tunnel before they even went out just shows that. We're now living in a world where you couldn't have a Keane and Vieira arguing in the tunnel because they'd be banned for the rest of the season. We're now living in a world where they're talking about booking people for mocking other players' celebrations. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I couldn't give a toss if somebody copies James Maddison's shit celebration or Haaland's shit celebration. Who gives a toss? If it's a way to get under the skin of your opposition, why wouldn't you do it? Because you certainly can't grab them by the collar anymore. You certainly can't give him a bit of an elbow, and I don't mean in the face, but you know, like the game's gone soft. It's incredible, and it's incredible the amount of people that are outraged by this and have spent the last few days talking about it. And like I say, you'll know, I think the only time I've spoken about it was when Robbie asked me about it on his video on Monday, and then now. I couldn't give a toss about people copying people's celebrations. I mean, if Man United scored goals and celebrated, which is a rarity these days, but if we did have a player that scored a load of goals, and you know, imagine if we still had Cavani and somebody went like that and copied his celebration, I'd use it as a compliment. I wouldn't give a shit. And if we went 1-0 down, I mean, they were doing it to Ronaldo for years. But even when Ronaldo was at Man United, the opposition would score a goal and do his celebration. It's just, I just see it as banter and, you know, use it to fuel you. Don't ask for it to be banned. Goldio says, do you think United fans are overreacting about the future transfer windows? A lot of fans from all clubs posting angrily and seem disappointed. Thoughts? Don't compare us to other football clubs, mate. That just lets the Glazers and Ineos off the hook. They're, yeah. Look at what Aston Villa have done. No Premier League club has got owners like we've got. So let's not try and find safety amongst friends. Like, if Arsenal are annoyed they didn't get a striker and another club's annoyed they didn't do this, this is very different to what we've got. And I think that's just being a Glazer sympathiser trying to say, well, everyone else is doing it. Not everyone else is in nearly £1 billion of debt, are they? Anyway, keep the questions coming in. We're ready to go here. They're about ready to go. I've got that one on as well. That's good. Yeah, everything's there. Don't forget, check out Sleeper. You'll love it. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. Let's get the stats carousel rolling round and let's have a look at the team news for both sides. Both gone strong. Newcastle looking to get to their second Carabao Cup final in 3 years. Obviously got beat by Man United, but they'll be looking to get there again. But lineups-wise, as you can see, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Partey, Rice, Martinelli, Havertz and Trossard. Played Dubravka, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Byrne and Hall, Murphy, Tonali, Bruno G, Gordon, Isaac. He has gone. I don't know whether Newcastle do this normally, because I haven't watched Newcastle play for a few weeks. But he has gone with the back five. He's going to invite the pressure and look to hit on the break. And I don't necessarily know that that's the right thing to do. I think Newcastle is a very, very hard place to go. And I think Newcastle's strength is to be a little bit offensive in front of a crowd like this, which is absolutely fire tonight. I just think that we'll wait and see what happens. But if Eddie Howe is going to go back five and counter at home, and Arsenal get in the game, I'd be sat there wondering, would we lose by 2 clear goals at St James's Park if we were a little bit attacking? I don't know. Tanishka says, if you're a Newcastle, would you take 60 million plus Nunez for Isaac? No, I'd rather take the 100 million and buy what I want. Amir Khan says, what do you think the differences are between what FSG did with Liverpool and what Ineos are trying to do with United? Sell to buy for profit, etc., says Amir Khan. I think the difference is very clear, and I said it about 2 minutes ago. Liverpool were not in £700 million worth of debt, paying £40 to £50 million a year in debt interest. So maybe Liverpool needed to sell to buy once or twice, but we're gonna end up having to do it a lot. Man United's big problem is that they're always being sunk by the debt. It defines everything we do. Arsenal got a corner here right in the first minute. They all run to the back post to play their little play that they're going to do. Don't forget, on this channel, Sunday night, NFL Super Bowl watch-along. I think it's our 5th year in a row. If you've never watched the Super Bowl, then get on the watch-along with us. If you are a regular for the Super Bowl, get to bed early Saturday night because we're up until the early hours on Monday. Can't wait, really excited. I've already got all my American sweets as well. So if you're thinking about joining me and you want to get some American sweets, get them ordered now. I've got, what have I got? I've got cherry Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. I've got those fiery Cheetos. And then I've got a load of box of sweets to try as well. Can't wait. I'm going to be off my tits on sugar. Thank you very much, Amir Khan, for your super chat, by the way. Fast-paced start to this. Referee's slowing it down already. Don't really know why. Just let them get on with the game. Yeah, plays into Newcastle's hands just to slow the game down a little bit here. Got any Twinkies, Mark? Are they, Jamie, are they those things that, you know, the cop in Die Hard eating? Are they like in them packets? Like, they're not donuts, but you know what I mean? Is that what they are? Don't eat it, says JR. Nice cross into the box, headed away. Oh, edge of the box. Trippier into, is that Gomes? Yeah, Bruno G. Back to Trippier. French. What happened to that left back who was French? Used to play for, I think he was at Villa. He was at Villa. I think he was at Newcastle, then he was at Villa. What was his name? I can picture him, but I can't remember his bloody name. Not Digne. Go through. Targay, that was it. Matt Targay. He's in! Isak! Game over! It is over! It's 3-0! It's over! Forget about it! Arsenal have been done in the first 3 minutes, and it's Isak to make it 3-0. This game is over, everybody. There's no way back for Arsenal now. They should have bought a striker in the January transfer window. Clip it and put it out there. This is what happens when you haven't got a bloody striker and you've got to come back from 3-0 down and your strong point is defence. This is why Arteta was so angry, because this is another trophy you're not going to win because you're not going to score the goals. It's good night, Vienna. I mean, it's really bad defending from Arsenal as well. It's just, I mean, Isak is going to pick this up. Might be offside. I don't think he is. But as soon, if he's onside there, you're never getting near him, and the finish is very good. I mean, he is a quality striker, isn't he? Just you know what? This could happen with Spurs and Tell, because people say Tell hasn't scored many goals, but Isak was not scoring goals in Spain at all. And then you look at him in a Newcastle shirt, and I mean, that's just a very good finish, isn't it? Make sure he gets it on target, and it's going to be very, very hard. Now 3-0. It's like a bonus goal. Stay humble, Arsenal, says Mexican America. Well, it makes for a very interesting game now, but I just don't see a way back. Not away from home. I mean, Isak might be offside. He might be offside here. From that angle. The first angle, he didn't look offside, but from here. Have they got offside in the Carabao? I'm sure they do. Have they not got offside? Yes, they have. God, it's a long wait. I mean, this is a joke. I've got to say, for Newcastle fans, this is a joke. How have we not got automated offside in the best league in the world? And the World Cup had it however many years ago. We've had a Euro since then. How have we not got automated offside? Offside. Offside. Has any other domestic league got automated offside? I can't believe that. Well, Arsenal have been let off the hook there. I mean, it probably is offside, to be fair, but I don't know whether I trust it. Still don't have automated offside. You know what they do. You know what they do for offside. No messing about. It literally is freeze frame from a TV screen, and then drawing lines to figure it out. And it was somebody said it last season that the accuracy is not right. It cannot be accurate as it needs to be. We haven't seen a replay yet. Isak is quickly becoming a serious player, says Ardo. But Mark, we beat Man City, says James Everett. Well, Arsenal are back in this now. If that goal was given, game over. Now it makes a big difference. Since when has the referee been mic'd up to talk to the crowd? I think they're trialling it for Carabao, aren't they? Yeah, Lee Berman's right. The only way you'll get accurate offside is if the camera is looking straight down the line. What FA Cup games are you doing this weekend, Mark? I mean, I've got to be honest. The FA Cup is just not the Premier League. Slowspurs news. The FA Cup is not the Premier League. Goldbridge. It's not. And there's only 2 games I'm sort of interested in this weekend. Obviously, I'll do Man United Leicester because it's United on Friday night. And then Sunday, I'm interested in Villa against Spurs. But every other game I just think is a bit shit, to be honest. Targay. Yeah, Matt Targay, the French centre-back, left-back. Where is he now? Where is Targay now? Wasn't automated offside coming last September, says Bear Merchant. Yes, it was meant to. Will should do Birmingham Newcastle watch along. He'll probably be at it, won't he? You know what? I actually haven't had a look at some of these fixtures. Let me have a look. Football crazy. We're football mad. Friday, Man United Leicester. Saturday, Brighton Chelsea's 8 o'clock at night. And Birmingham Newcastle is 5:45. And then Sunday, you've got Villa Spurs at 5:35. Plymouth Liverpool, waste of time. Plymouth are shit. I don't know when Man City are playing Leyton Orient. Oh, for fuck's sake. You may as well just give them a bye to the final, hadn't you? I might do one on Saturday. I'll see how I feel. I might do a Saturday one. I still haven't seen the lines from this. Have they tweeted it anywhere? Has anybody tweeted it yet? Because why have we not seen the lines yet? I always get a little bit conspiracy bridge when I haven't seen the lines. Let's see if we can find it anywhere. I mean, it should be instantaneous, really. No, I can't see it anywhere. No, I haven't seen it. Did I miss it? Or did it go on the screen at some point? Wasn't auto. Yeah, I've done that one. Thank you, Bear Merchant. Thanks for your super chats, by the way. I'm going to do an either or for you tonight. I feel like we've made it drop off. Anthony Gordon nearly getting in there. I mean, Newcastle are very energetic here. I think Arsenal are in for a tough ride here to get through. Either or, Isak or Haaland. Luke Shaw out again. We need to clear these players out, says Mikael. Onana, Evans, Lindelof, Eriksson, Casemiro, Mount and Xerxes all got to go. Glad Anthony's gone, says Mikael. Good game. Good game. Good game. Lots of intensity. Newcastle, I like Newcastle at home. I'm just surprised they lost at home to Fulham and Bournemouth. Although the Bournemouth game was great. Really physical Newcastle as well. They leave a tackle in, let Arsenal know that they're there. Eva Lundback, one of our members, says, Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for That's Football. My favourite escape. Heavy day today. Hey, the great thing about this community is you can have had a crap day and all that, but you know we're going to be live and you just get involved in the chat. I've got a bit of bad news for you. I won't be doing Liverpool Spurs tomorrow. 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, I genuinely think it will be a crap game. I think Liverpool will batter Spurs. But real reason 2, I didn't know they were going to do it on a Thursday. So I thought it was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday. So I basically arranged to go out tomorrow night. It will be famous last words. It could be a great game, relaxation, but I can't be doing a watch along because I've arranged to go out tomorrow night and get... I can't rearrange it. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to. Because it's going to be a very, well, you never know till you're there, but I wouldn't want to. So I can't do it tomorrow. So maybe I will do a bonus FA Cup game. As I said, I'm doing Spurs Villa. I can't wait for Man City Real Madrid next Tuesday as well. I'm going to really enjoy watching Man City get knocked out. It's going to be great fun. Join us for that. Would you watch it if you thought Spurs were going to win? Even then, I probably wouldn't cancel tomorrow. But I can't see Spurs doing anything. Lovely play here by Newcastle. Out wide, Anthony Gordon up against Saliba into the box. Don't let him on his right foot. Good play by Odegaard there. Used his physicality. Used his body, sorry. To just cut off Anthony Gordon. Still haven't seen... Can somebody in the chat tell me if you've seen the lines of the offside yet? Sometimes you don't get to see it till half time, to be fair. Forgot about Real Madrid and City next week. That's tasty. Hey, mate, it's a good week next week. You've got Man City against Real Madrid at the Etihad, first leg on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Everton-Liverpool, the game in hand. So, when's the Goldbridge Arms reopening, says Steve? Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. It was out of our hands, really. They doubled the rent. And, you know, you can't get mugged off. So it was a no. Oh, Dan Byrne, you've got to do better than that. Yeah, next week's quite good. Just having a look. I think there's Monday Night Football, isn't there? Yeah, crap. Doncaster, Crystal Palace. Tuesday, you've got 4 Champions League games, but the biggest one is Man City against Real Madrid. Sporting play Dortmund. Juventus play PSV and Brest play PSG. And on Wednesday, you've got Everton, Liverpool in that game in hand. But there are Champions League games as well. Celtic, Bayern. We'll be keeping an eye on that as well. Thursday, it's all the Europa League games, if anybody wants to watch that. No thanks. Brighton play Chelsea next Friday in the league as well at 8 o'clock. Might do that. Leicester Villa. Leicester, that's a week on Saturday. Let's not go too far ahead. Isaac. Either or. Isaac or Haaland. 73% of you have gone with Isaac. I mean, it must be hard being a Man City fan at the moment because even I think that's a load of bollocks. But people just don't like City. Do you think Spurs have a chance tomorrow, says William? No. I don't. Not at Anfield. I think it could be... I'll tell you what, one of the best games I've seen this season, and I had a couple of pints, and I was in Centre Parks, so I was very relaxed, but Liverpool Spurs just before Christmas sort of got forgotten. I thought it was, I know it was Liverpool, but I thought it was a very good game. They haven't shown the offside lines yet, no, Alan. When it comes out, it'll be like this. Militao, Alaba are out for Madrid. They'll use kids, says Rifat. And, oh, here we go. Arsenal are in the box. Trossard. There's loads of Newcastle players back, by the way. It's not like they're in a one-on-one. I've got a bit of agony bridge here. Evan says, Mark, should I leave my girl for supporting City and saying I should... oh, hold on. Odegaard. Good block. Good block. Evan says, should I leave my girlfriend for supporting City and saying I should shave my head because she fancies Pep? Bin her off. Weird. If she fancies Pep, yeah, bin her off. In the bin. Dan Hastings says, thoughts on... hold on! Odegaard! Oh, how has he missed? How has he missed? Ref, you can't give a free kick. You've got to play advantage there. Martinelli did go down. Referee shuffling his jewels there, wasn't he? Lovely ball here, though. Partey, Trossard, Martinelli did get the ball, Dan Burn, and oh, he hit the side of the post, Odegaard. Oh, I don't know. Did Dan Burn get the ball? You could have gone back for a free kick, but it was outside the box, so why bother? It's a dangerous tackle by Dan Burn, to be fair, that. You can understand why he's made it, because it's last ditch, but Martinelli's up. That's the main thing. Thoughts on Birmingham versus Newcastle on Saturday, says Dan. I mean, Isak's in again. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, he hasn't. Murphy, 3-0. It's Murphy's Law, and it's out. They go again. Will Arsenal be saved by VAR this time? I don't know. This start from Newcastle has been absolutely fantastic, and Arsenal just can't live with them. They cannot live with them. They really do. And, you know, it is Isak who gets the goal. No, Isak who makes the difference. It's Murphy who follows it up. He's having a fantastic season, Murphy, by the way. But we're just looking at a long ball here. Yeah, good play by Isak. Lovely play by Gordon. Saliba just gets sent back there, doesn't he? Isak with a lovely shot onto the post. Murphy follows it up. But look at the turn here. Isak gets it into Gordon. What a shot. Did you see the curl on that? On Isak's shot as well? Oh, my God. No, that's not the angle. Show it again. Did you see the curl on the shot from behind? Look at the way it curls in. Oh, mate. This Isak, I'm telling you at the moment, his finishing is up there. Right up there. Unbelievable. But he hits the post. It's Murphy who follows it in. Yeah, I think that's 20 minutes, 3-0 down. Arsenal... well, Arsenal fans, you're not winning the FA Cup because you're out. You're not winning the Carabao Cup because you're heading out. You're not winning the league because you didn't buy a striker. So, it's Champions League or bust, lads. Who do you think United will play in the Europa League, says Sean? I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. Partey. Remember, Arsenal did have a chance just before that, though, but they're going to get caught on the break again here. Tonali, they've got a 3v2. Look at the pace. He's going to wait for Gordon. And then he slips him in. Saliba. Anthony got a good play by Saliba, to be fair. Rashford or Malen to start up front for us on Sunday, considering Watkins has a knock and looks to be out for a week or so, says yes, lads. I mean, I don't know. Rashford up front, if you can get him service, he will finish it, but he's not particularly good at holding... He's not Ollie Watkins, let's put it that way. But who is a bigger jinx, Mark or United Trace, says Mrs. Stones? I'm not jinxing anyone. Reese Gregory says, are your dry January friends still dry, says Reese. Hey, mate, you know what? Those dry January people are all a bunch of fakes, frauds anyway. Because I went out for a drink on Friday nights. Here we go. Here's the offside. I mean, come on. I'm not convinced about that. I'm not convinced by that offside at all. The angle of it, not convinced by that. Anyway, went out on Friday night. busiest the pub has been in years, January the 31st. I think a lot of people just decided to stop it early because Friday was January the 31st. Mark, you follow American sports. I find them boring. I like the NFL, Pratt. I'll be doing the Super Bowl on here on Sunday. Isaac, good save, Dubravka. I tell you what, we're in for a good game now because Arsenal have got to go for it, haven't they? Perk says Isak does bangers while Haaland does tap-ins. What's the worst United kit you've ever seen, says Ethan Young? I think it probably was that one that we wore against Southampton and changed at half-time. It just wasn't nice. I didn't really like that green one last year either. Alberto Sanchez says, hi Mark, have you seen how MLS call out VAR decisions? Like in the NFL, would think that would be better for the Premier League for more transparency. I haven't seen how they do it, Alberto. Gordon is what makes Newcastle tick, says Constantine. And Ardo says Seedorf or Nedved. I will put that up for you. Well, Arsenal have had four. This is their fourth corner here. Dubravka's just gone down. What was for dinner, Mark? Says Ahmed. Oh, mate, I made it tonight. It was like a chicken pasta. So, cook the chicken, onion, garlic, mushrooms, cayenne pepper, oregano, basil, passata, bit of puree, spinach. Mix it all together gradually. And then add pasta, mix it all up, bit of cheese on top. It was lovely. Loads of flavour. Love it. Rich David says, I've just watched your Webby and O'Neill interview. Amazing. I enjoyed doing that, mate. It was good. It was very good. James Daniel says, do you think Haaland looks more like Sloth off the Goonies or a melted dustbin? James, it's not all about looks. Although, would you rather sleep with a good-looking person with mid IQ or an ugly genius? My point is, it might not be about looks, but it's not always about intelligence either. Odegaard crossed to the back post and headed wide. Mrs. Stone says, Mark, have you ever considered showing your step up? It's funny you should ask that. No. Mark, I'm going to buy football kits from a website called Football Homeland for £20. Don't know if it's a scam. Any thoughts? It's a scam, William. You get what you pay for. I think the Dubravka's coming off here. Oh, no, he's up again. Nick Pope's warming up. No, he's saying he's all right. He's saying he's all right. Arteta, says Praj. Mate, they should have. I literally did a video today. Like they should have bought a striker. But to be fair, Arteta did admit it as well. I'm really cold tonight. I'm going to turn the radio on. Oh, it's not working. That's definitely not been on. What's going on? Oh, I hope the heating. I hope it's not broke. Mark, in my opinion, I'd rather have Isak at United over Gyökeres. Such an incredible player. What do you think? Says Raymond. Yeah, we're not going to get Isak, mate. I agree with you, but if it's actually something in your head that you think might happen, it won't. Brad Smith, thanks for your super chat. And nice long ball there. It's a shame for Arsenal because they've just had that amazing result against Man City and then it's back down to reality, isn't it? They've definitely been in the game, but Newcastle have given them a game as well. I'm perfect for this. I slept with a little. Colin S says, I'm perfect for this. I slept with a literal genius ugly person. It was incredible. Okay. Bigger achievement, Leicester Prem or Forest 2 European Cups is why you're looking. Well, it's hard for me to say because I wasn't alive when they won those 2 European Cups. So, and I don't know how hard they were to win. So I don't really know. I mean, I think Leicester winning a Premier League over 38 games is pretty incredible. But then again, winning back-to-back European Cups for a team like Forest is pretty incredible as well. Seedorf has beaten Nedved in our second either or. All Arsenal at the moment, just passing it around. Either or, snow or rain, says Mrs. Stone. I mean, I'd definitely take snow over rain, yeah. Yeah, I have to. Broad says, what do you think about the comments from Napoli about not signing Garnacho? I just think it shows that Man United were openly trying to sell him, which we already knew. Why didn't Arsenal go for Duran? 70 million's a no-brainer, says Brad. Probably weren't willing to pay the wages. I think Duran went to Saudi because of the money, mate. Really. Half an hour gone. 1-0 to Newcastle. 3-0 on aggregate. Berbatov or Ginola? I'll do that. I'll take that suggestion and I'll do it. Do you think Saka will be back this season? Bad injury, isn't it? Yeah, he's on 300 grand a week with no tax, Jonathan. So that's what Jonathan says. So in the UK, to get 300k after tax, 600k is it? That maybe was a foul on Declan Rice, but Newcastle coming forward again. Good play by Gabriel. Trippier's up for it there. Trippier was well up for it there, wasn't he? He fancied a bit of Gabriel. Fair play. He ran off though. What's the plan for the Super Bowl, says Aryan? Be live at about 11 o'clock for an 11:30 start. And yeah, watch the game and have a bit of banter and a bit of a chat. I love it. Can't wait. Driving with Goldbridge this week, says Ahmad. No, I haven't had time this week, unfortunately. I'll do one next week. I do want to make them more regular, but... Who do I think is going to win this? Newcastle game of gold. Either or, rum or whiskey, says Newton. I definitely would say rum these days. Who wins a trophy first? Man United, Tottenham or Villa, says Blue Sky. Why does everybody else have to reset? Why do Man United have to reset? Like, we've won a trophy last year, the year before. Villa and Spurs haven't won trophies for years. Why does it have to reset? Like, we shouldn't be in it. I like who should win... Who's going to win a trophy first, Villa or Spurs? That's a better one. I'm going to do that as a poll. Berbatov has beaten Ginola. That is just not true. That is complete and utter shit. That is chuff monsters galore. Berbatov was not better than Ginola. Absolutely not. Chuff monsters. You've been outed. Who will win a trophy first? Villa or Spurs? Mrs. Stone says, why did the hype around agents die? I remember transfer window where we talked more about Mendes and Riola than players. Well, one of those agents died. That's why, Mrs. Stone. Mino Riola's dead, isn't he? George Mendes. I don't know. I suppose maybe it's a conscious thing for agents to move into the background because it's probably not a good thing when you're publicly known and how much they get. Who do I think will win trophies first, Spurs or Villa? Neither of them strike me as teams that are really trophy-winning teams, you know. I don't know why that is, but I'd say Emery is more likely to win a trophy than Ange, so I'd say Villa, yeah. I don't think Spurs. I mean, breaking news. I don't think Spurs have the right mentality. Is this on now? I was getting panicky then. I thought my radiator wasn't working. Villa should have won the Conference League last year. Good play by Isak. He's got to switch it to Gordon. Oh, it's behind him. If that had been into his path, it could have been a different story. Well, it would have done. Arsenal got the numbers back now, but Gordon into Tonali. Physical game. Very, very... I like it. It's got an edge to it, this game. Oh, little keep-ups from Bruno G. Definitely got an edge to it. Box. Oh! Should be a corner to Newcastle, surely. Saliba's been poor lately. Gabriel and Van Dijk are better. I mean, I can't lie. Martinelli's down injured now. I can't lie. I do think Saliba is a very, very good centre-back. But he is still, well, he's coming up for 24 this year. Arsenal got Man United syndrome, playing good only with big six, says Mikhail. Either or, Cantona or Bergkamp, says Archie Moore. 78% of you say that Villa will win a trophy ahead of Spurs. Well, intelligent 78% of you. I mean, if you voted Spurs, I mean, I don't know what I can say. Bergkamp, Cantona. I think Martinelli is off. I wonder if it is from that Dan Burn tackle, which was, as I said, quite tasty. I feel like I've never seen us win a game where the opposition presses high and the crowd is loud. Mentality issue, says Smithy, the Arsenal fan. Look, Newcastle is a difficult place to go. When you lost 2-0 at the Emirates, I said it was game over. It was only because Newcastle have lost their last 2 games that I thought maybe something could happen here. But Newcastle do defend well. I think I'll say it again. When we were down, and this is a strong message to Arsenal fans, and it's true. And I said it during the game as well. We played Arsenal in the FA Cup, and the referee was shit, and I thought we were going to lose anyway. And as it went into extra time, I still thought we were going to lose. So I very honestly said, even if we lose this game, playing against Arsenal with 10 men, they're just not a threat. They're not intimidating. They're not a threat. And I feel like it again. I just don't feel like they're a threat in the final third when teams are really up for it defending. And Man United were up for it then. Newcastle are up for it now. Havertz just ain't the guy. And Arteta knows it. He said it in that interview. But as I say, Arsenal have only got themselves to blame because they've basically put the white flag up in the middle of the season by not getting a striker in. Mark, why is it the Spurs are so relevant? They haven't not had much good results in the Premier League era, but still, why are they in the Big Six? I don't know. I think Spurs always got lumped in because there was nobody else. They've always been part of the top 6 because there was nobody else really. But there are other teams now. But then again, United. I mean, we've got no right to say we are. Spurs win tomorrow. Mark Goldbridge, my words, says Sam Williams. Yeah, you won't, mate, but fair play. Mr. Starfish says, what happened to the F1 streams? I haven't done them in years, mate. I might bring them back if it's interesting. I always said I would. Spurs, done that one. Mark, thank you very much, Pratt. Either or, Scooby-Doo or Dino from Flintstones. I'm not that old. I do remember the Flintstones, but who was Dino? Scooby-Doo, anyway, dead. BX. Heartbeat, why do you kiss when my baby kisses me? I'll tell you what, you youth of today, you don't know the meaning of the word bored. Who's older than like 35 and can remember Sundays? Oh my God. Rainy Sunday, pre-internet. Fucking hell. Songs of Praise, Antiques Roadshow, Highway to Heaven. Bloody hell. There's nothing you could do. Arsenal were riding their luck with injuries for the last 2 years. Liverpool and City has had injury crisis in the last 2 years, says Miz. If Arsenal could get one back before half-time. Thing is, Newcastle do traditionally defend quite well as well. Look at Havertz. Been booked. Dan Burns a big lad, isn't he? Havertz wouldn't want to be getting involved with that, but he's been booked for it anyway. Bullseye. Bullseye was good. If I could present any show from the past, it would probably be not Bullseye. Don't know why I bigged it up. I wouldn't do Bullseye. I think I'd be good on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Noel's House Party. Telly Addicts, that was good. I used to love Telly Addicts. They should bring Telly Addicts back. That was good. Then again, people don't watch telly in the same way now. Oh, I'd love to do Top of the Pops. I still get PTSD when I hear the Heartbeat theme, thinking I have school the next day, says Fraser. Yeah, good one. I'm trying to think what's the most depressing theme tune ever. Songs of Praise. I always remember mate. Oh, I shouldn't say it. Rainy Sunday equals sensible soccer day, says Mark. Yeah, if you're wealthy enough to have an Amiga. 1-0 here, approaching half time. Back here after dinner, both Mark and I got picked with only high IQ. Take your hint, ladies, says Rub. Thanks for your super chats tonight. Supermarket sweep, says David. Surely that's a pull on Gordon. Yeah, yellow card. Saturday night TV was brilliant. Yeah, I used to love it. Can't believe Havertz is still their starting number 9, says Zach. I want to talk about it in depth at half time, but I do feel like somebody said Arsenal are a bit like Man United. Let's not insult Arsenal, who've done wonders to get where they are, but the next step, it's that they've only got themselves to blame. To me, they're like they're playing like half a team at the moment here. If you either or George Best or Ronaldo, yeah, we're not doing that. Cantona beat Bergkamp, by the way. Into the box. Oh, good defending again. It's too easy. Look, Havertz is too slow there. Brode Emon says, "Are you going to the last Black Sabbath concert? It's Ozzy's last performance. That's a lineup for the history books. Love me some Sabbath." I didn't even know they were doing one. Your long coat rant, was it Dry Road by any chance, says Liam M. Whoosh. I don't know what you're on about there. Rooney or Cantona, says Victor. Cheers from Macedonia. Nicely into Isaac. Into Gordon. Past Declan Rice. Leaves him on his arse. And a shot from Gordon. He's on fire today. He's playing well. Either or. Was it Cantona or Rooney? Rooney. Daily Hibbett says, if you could choose between Gyökeres or Isak at United, who would you choose? I mean, I'd obviously go with Isak because, you know, he's doing it in the Premier League. I think he's better as well, actually. Let's be honest. Nick says, love the videos, mate. Brother and I, biggest fans from Australia. Which pub could we find you in when we fly over to watch a few games? Your rage video's hilarious. Bunch of traffic cones. Call the police. Shout out, Nathan. You might find me in a pub, but you won't find me in a pub near a Man United game, unfortunately, because I don't get to many. But if you're in the Birmingham area, you might see me in the old Contemptibles sometimes. Here's Gordon. Corner with the shot. Either or, Michael Jackson or Elvis, says Elliot. I'm controversial, not a big fan of Michael Jackson. Maybe I knew. No, never been a big fan of his. Or the Beatles. Just don't really... just doesn't do it for me, if I'm being honest. Just doesn't do it for me. Trippier with the corner. I'll laugh if they concede from one. No, headed away. She's all dressed up with a broken heart. I didn't quit my life, I just quit my job. We don't know how to this mad situation. What happened to Deal or No Deal and Noel Edmonds? What happened to Noel Edmonds? I think he's selling shoes in New Zealand now. Either or, French wine or Scottish whiskey, says Mrs. Stone. I'd say French wine. I don't really drink whiskey anymore. You could present the new big break, Mark, says Fraser. I'd love to do that. I'd be very good at it as well. Have you ever been to the Licky Hills, says James? I think I have. 5 minutes added on here because the referee's a twat. What was the Channel 4 programme when they played computer games with that astronomer as a gremlin character, says FPL Fozzie? Games Master. Patrick... Oh, what was his name? Patrick... He used to do this... I think he was an astronomer or something like that. I want to say Patrick Wilson, but I don't think it was. It was Games Master, though. Patrick Moore, that was it. And for a bonus question, the presenter was Dominic Cummings. No, it was Dominic someone. Dominic Diamond? Who do you think's going to win the Carabao Cup, Mark? Liverpool. Yeah, it was Dominic Diamond. Dominic Cummings was somebody completely different. Fabregas or Scholes, says Mum. I'll come back to that one. Batistuta or Vieri, says Luke Oatridge. I'm not doing that because there is only one answer. Batistuta. Batistuta. Is he going for half time? Yeah, half-time, 1-0 to the Newcastle, not the Arsenal. So it's not looking good at the moment for Arsenal. And I've got to say, you've only got yourselves to blame. Everyone's been talking about it. Even your manager was talking about it. And whoever's responsible for not getting a striker in at Arsenal, you are playing a dangerous game, mate. You are writing seasons off where it's like, we'll get one next year. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a message for you. Next year, you might not be the second best team in the league. You might be the third. And a striker might not make you make that bridge. I find it absolutely incredible that for the last 2 years, you've been the second best team in England. And if you'd had a striker, you probably would have won the title. Or next year, you might be the fourth best team in England and a striker doesn't win you the title. And it'll be your own fault for keep putting it off, thinking, oh, we can't quite, we'll wait till the summer. In football, the time is now, not in the future. It was half time in the season. You should have bought a striker. Would have helped you today. You're blunt. You've got nothing up front. You've got nothing up top. You're like John Terry in a bloody IQ test. You're clueless. You've got no idea what to do up front. And what's your excuse? Everybody knows you need a bloody striker. You're out the FA Cup because you couldn't score a goal. You're going out of this Carabao Cup because you can't score goals. You're not going to win the league because you couldn't score enough goals. And you're not going to win the Champions League either. So, all right, you might finish second again, but another trophyless season for Arsenal because you won't buy a bloody striker and you've only got yourselves to blame. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I think Arsenal fans are going high five. Goldbridge is at it again. He's absolutely spot on because I am. It's obvious. Everybody knows it now. Everybody knows it. Smithy says, I get professional pride, but when do you give up? Martinelli injured. Looks like Rice hurt himself. Need goal every 10 minutes to win. Cut losses, says Smithy. Yeah, well, I just think it's... Did Arsenal bring anybody in the window? I mean, let's take it to level 2. Idiotic not to bring a striker in. What about something else? To bring nothing in is just stupidity. Your best player is injured and is going to be injured for a long time. You lost Odegaard at the start of the season. I mean, you haven't got a striker. The chances of you keeping everybody fit between now and the end of the year, bullshit. I mean, did you hear what Arteta said? He literally said, we're going to have to use players from the youth and hope that nobody gets injured. I mean, that is not the behaviour characteristics of a team. I mean, I said it before. Remember, the transfer window closed on Monday, but it has been open for a month. I said it a month ago that Arsenal, a month ago, were in the FA Cup. They're in the Carabao Cup. They hadn't played Newcastle first leg. They hadn't played Man United in the FA Cup. They were very much still in the title race and the Champions League. And I said, if they could get a player in now, then a striker in now, then they would enhance their chances of winning the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the league. 2 of them are gone now because they haven't shown any ambition. Now, you look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa need to be in the Champions League. They're not in the Champions League spots at the moment. All right, they've sold Duran, but they've brought in Malen, Rashford, Asensio, a midfielder, and a centre-back. Because getting in the top 5 is massively important for them. And they're going to have a try, and they're going to do it. And yet, we get these teams like Man United have done it. Didn't bother bringing in any replacements for Rashford or Anthony. And Arsenal have done it. They've gone, no, we like to do our business in the summer. And, well, I'll tell you what. You might like to do your business in the summer, but some people like to win trophies in May, and you won't be winning one. Ross says, keep City out of your mouth. I haven't spoken about City, mate. I mean, I know you think people want to talk about Man City, but 80% of our audience just voted Isak better than Haaland. Trust me, mate. No one wants to talk about City. No one cares about City. You brought them up. Can we agree Arsenal officially always second best, says John? Arsenal are bridesmaid FC. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Chris Chisholm, thanks for your super chat, says London's burning and Soldier Soldier can get thrown in with Heartbeat as well. Sunday nights were brutal. I used to like Sunday Soldier Soldier. Fabregas or Scholes, I need to do that one. Rooney beat Cantona. I feel like that's a whole hour debate I haven't got time to do. Either or, what was it? Fabregas or Scholes? I think Fabregas is a better pundit. I hate to say, but United cannot multitask. They can't sell and buy, says Mrs. Stone. And Kazim says, off topic, I know, but your thoughts on the Edward revisionism on social media these past few days, I think it's hilarious. I haven't seen any Kazim, and that's probably a benefit to my blood pressure, because if I saw anybody saying that Ed Woodward was good at his job, then they should be banned from football. Literally a lifetime ban. You're not allowed to talk or watch it anymore. They get a special device that just blocks them from any football conversation or watching it. Thank you, Smithy. Thank you, Chris Chisholm. Appreciate the super chats. Please do so. Oh, I forgot to say this. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. We are on 1.299 subscribers. We are only 500 away from 1.3 million subscribers, which is an amazing achievement for this amazing community. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. That would be very appreciated. I'd forgotten that we were very close to another big landmark, so thank you very much for that. And don't forget, over the weekend, we have got some FA Cup watch-alongs for you. I would certainly be doing Villa against Spurs on Sunday. Very interested to see all these new signings. Tell for Spurs, Rashford, Asensio, Malen for Villa. I'm looking forward to it. Perfect game to blood them in as well. And then Sunday night, one of my favourite streams of the year that isn't football related, the Super Bowl. We do it every single year, and there's nothing more special than being up at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Monday morning. You feel like a cheater. It's a great event, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And we'll be decking out the background differently as well. We've got an American football. We've got a helmet. Well, that's me. It'll be great fun. So join in for that. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Appreciate that. Also, don't forget to download the Sleeper app from our friends at Sleeper. We're going to be working with them quite a lot between now and the end of the season. Basically, it's a free-to-play fantasy app where you can pick your teams and play against each other, but you can win real prizes. And I would say get on it while you can before everybody else does, because the newer people playing the game have got better chances of winning it. Check it out and give it a go. See what it's all about. I really enjoy it. What was that? What snacks are you gonna get? Well, I've already told you. I've got the fiery Cheetos. I've got some different flavoured cans of pop. Do we still call it pop these days? Can you remember the one when I did the what were those? Americans will know. What are the blue ones? The blue snacks. They're meant to be really hot, but they're blue snacks. It makes your shit green. It did make my shit green. I can't remember what they're called. Tackies, that's it. Yeah, Tackies. I haven't got any of them this year because I've done that. I did try a sweet a couple of years ago. Was it Toxic Waste? It actually gets quite nice, but it tastes horrible at the start. Arsenal STB in Champions League format hurt them for availability, says Steve Hansen. Chiefs or the Eagles, says Brody. I mean, I'd always go opposite to the Chiefs because I don't like their dominance. They're basically like Man City. Having said that, the Eagles are basically Stoke, the way they play the game. Mrs. Stone says, if you could have a new feature in YouTube, what would it be, Mark? Actual game footage. But that's not really YouTube. That's something else, isn't it? Here we go. Sully's got a good one. Would you rather have Newcastle's midfield or Liverpool's midfield? When they played last, it looked like a track meet. Scary stuff to face them. I think you've just described the two best balanced midfields in the league. Gravenberch, McAllister, and probably Szoboszlai, isn't it? Against Joel Linton, Tonali, and Bruno G. I think Liverpool's is better. But I do think Newcastle's is very good. I think they are the best two midfields in the league. Yeah. Abraham says, it's so weird how all these top teams like United, Arsenal, Chelsea need a top killer number 9, but won't buy one. But they've spent millions on mediocre number 9s. I think Chelsea is the weirdest one of the lot. I mean, Man United crying poverty because they're in debt. Arsenal, no one knows why they won't do it. They seem to want the perfect one. But Chelsea have spent so much money on so many areas and still have Nicholas Jackson as their main striker. So I don't really understand that one, to be honest with you. Jude Bellingham or 2016 Dele Alli, says 20. Jude Bellingham. R says, I saw a United page on X hating on the United stand, didn't understand why, and then I checked his account and he was a Rashford FC, explains it. Imagine that though. Imagine being so far up the arse of a player that hasn't played well for 2 years that you're out there slagging people off. I mean, it's just a big red flag that you're a moron. Yeah, I mean, I've got no problem with people being player FC, but I mean, I think everybody knows Rashford's been shit for 18 months. Like, own it. Let's hope he can do something at Villa. Do you think Arsenal can come back into this game? No, I don't. I think 3-0 down against Newcastle at the Emirates would be hard enough. But this has... My big question is, how have Fulham and Bournemouth gone to St James's Park and won? Because every time I watch Newcastle, they play like this. The crowd are up for it. The players are intense. They press high. They defend well. They always look a threat. I sort of came into this game having not watched Newcastle for a few weeks and thought, well, maybe they are a bit vulnerable, but they've been absolutely focused. And I think that's the thing about Newcastle. You write them off at your peril. There's been a few times over the last 2 years where they've had a few bad results and I've thought, right, that's it. That's the bubble burst. But they have this amazing tendency to just... reassess and go again. And when they're in the mood like they are tonight, they're very difficult at Newcastle. I mean, Liverpool didn't beat them. Did they beat Man City? God, what was that? You ever get a sharp pain up your arse? I think men do. I'm not talking about that. Like a shooting pain. If you know, you know. Bloody hell. It really did hurt. Yeah, men do get it. I read about it once. It wasn't on a porn site. There's nothing physical there. It's just like a bit of a shooting pain. Early sign of piles. I've had them. I thought I was going to die. Looked in the toilet and I was like, oh my God. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding out. That's enough. That's enough. Either or, Star Wars. I'll tell you the story I was going to tell you, actually, just to change subject. So we were talking about Sunday afternoons when we were kids, and used to get 4 channels, no internet, etc. And if it was raining, you were sort of stuck in. And I remember saying to my mate once, it always stuck with me. I said, "Oh, so bored yesterday. It was raining, couldn't go out, and you know, I don't know what I'm going to do." Turn the telly on just in time for the theme tune to Songs of Praise, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a tough wank." And I went, "What are you on about?" And he said, "Well, you know, I've got to find something to watch." And I just thought, in those days, you've had 4 channels. That was it. There was no internet. Unless you were lucky to know where your dad kept his magazines, that's all you had. But you've hit rock bottom when you're having to watch Songs of Praise to knock one out. The thing is, I'd like to say it was a joke, but he definitely wasn't joking. It's like that episode of The In-Betweeners where he goes into where Jay's working at the old people's home, and he goes into the old woman's room who's asleep and knocks one out to a picture of her when she was younger. Channel 5 was a lot better, Lee Berman, actually. After 11 o'clock on Channel 5, you were laughing. Well, you weren't laughing, you were doing something else. Nicholas Jackson is goalless in 8 games. If you, Mark, had a chance to sign any top striker at the moment, who would you sign? Great question, Miles. Bringing it back to football. This is a great question. Get in the chat. If you could buy one striker at the moment, who would you sign? I do think Isak's a bit recency biased, but I do think he ticks a lot of boxes around physicality, ability with the ball, finishing, prowess, good in the air, quick. So I think Isak would have to be Premier League in there. I've always been a fan of Ollie Watkins, to be fair. I think he's a traditional number 9 who can do the lot, but obviously at 29, I suppose there's not much value in it. Erling Haaland's one of the best strikers in the world. There's no doubt about that. Does Callum Wilson still play football? I mean, he's another Luke Shaw, isn't he, really? Erling Haaland's one of the best strikers. I think he's world class, Erling Haaland, but he has limitations to his game. Like, if you don't get service into him, I think he's very ordinary. But if you get service into him, he's extraordinary. Lewandowski's fantastic, but he's not going to do it in the Prem at his age, is he, really? I'm not convinced about Sesko. I mean, Harry Kane's a good shout, but I can't stand Harry Kane for England. I just can't stand this dropping deep shit. I want a striker who plays on the last man, and he doesn't. I think I would go. I think Isak at the moment is probably the striker that fits what I want from a striker the most. Harry Kane doesn't play off the last man, and he's not quick. That's incredible, isn't it? Isak is probably the guy, which is probably why Newcastle want £150 million from him. I mean, we're not overrating a £30 million striker here. Reminds me of when I found my dad's magazines, got ready for the best day of my life, only to realise it was all men. Hitchcock and Scully, love it. Well, give them to my mates. He'd be well happy. It's better than Songs of Praise. How many trophies do you think Liverpool will win this season? Could you see them doing the quadruple? I feel like it's been coming for a while. This is DJ. I don't sense that Liverpool are going to win a treble. But that might just be naive hope. Oh, that's late. That is late. It's got to be a yellow card. Bruno Guimaraes. That was late, to be fair. That is a bad tackle by him. Fucking hell. I think, you know what? That's borderline orange. That was a bad tackle. That was a bad tackle. That was a bad tackle. I'm not messing around. Iggy says he was going for the ball. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's still a bad tackle. I've seen people go for the ball and break people's legs. I'm just saying it's a bad tackle. I'm not saying it's a red, but I definitely think it's a bad tackle. Hopefully Trossard will be all right. I don't think it's a red. I just think it's one. Look, I've always said that. I said, look, in this game of football, just because somebody gets injured doesn't mean it's a red card. Like, it's a, you know. Yeah, how many trophies do I think Liverpool win? Oh, I think they're going to win the league. And I think they're going to win the Carabao Cup. So, I always think who's going to stop them? I don't know who stops Liverpool at the moment. Maybe I should start worrying. Do you think Man City know their punishment will just be a transfer ban like Chelsea? That's why they've decided to spend so much in January. Could be, Shane. I mean, they need to... Oh, here we go. Saliba. And he's put it wide. Anthony Gordon, he should have ran through. He should have ran through. Saliba again, dodgy at the back. I mean, Anthony Gordon, fair play, goes for the long shot here because the keeper's out. But... well, maybe he didn't fancy himself to get away. Very lucky. Bruno G had to pull out of a tackle there because he's on a yellow card. Now, Trossard, good defending. Been a good game this, you know. Who actually won the transfer window, says the Spurs way? Man City. Surely Man City. I mean, didn't they buy another player? I didn't even realise that. Didn't they buy another player? They bought 4 players, didn't they? I mean, I think Villa did well, but a lot of theirs were loans. So I'd say Man City. Yeah. MJ says that's actually a bad miss from Gordon. I think he should have scored it, but I'd have done it. Villa did do good. Do you think AC Milan had an underrated window, says Mercer? Tell me what it was. They got Mawani, didn't they? No, Mawani went to Juventus. You'd have to list them for me, mate. Why don't you watch MLB or cricket, says Mrs. Stone. Don't have time. Roy says, I think the fact that Villa seemingly has more ambition this window than Arsenal and most of the big 6 should be talked about way more. I've already spoken about it, Royce. I agree. I mean, there is a football club that's backing its manager and trying to be ambitious and trying to get better itself in the second half of the race. Whereas others are coasting. Thanks everyone tuning in. 16,000 of you. Absolute legends. Please do subscribe. We're only about 500 subscribers away from changing that to 1.3 million, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Would you support a sin bin in football? No, I wouldn't. I don't watch rugby as much as I used to, but in rugby, the sin bin just makes teams who haven't got the makes teams who are man down go defensive. It does lead to points, but I don't like that in football. Here we go, and that is Anthony Gordon, and that is 2-0 and 4-0 on aggregate, and that, my friends, is the end of the road. And for Arsenal, whilst it's the end of the road, it's a pounding as well. I mean, it is a gangbang. It is 2-0 at your place. It is 2-0 at St James's Park. It is 4-0 on aggregate. And that, I'm sorry to say, is an absolute pounding. A pounding that should be sponsored by Pornhub. It is absolutely resounding from Newcastle. And I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised that a team that can beat Man City the way they did on Sunday has been absolutely outplayed. And yet again, the lack of a striker just makes Arsenal very, very easy to play against. Yeah, playing out from the back. Raya here. That's a silly pass. And he's definitely onside because Gabriel's playing him onside. It was a silly pass. I don't know why he played that pass into Declan Rice. Good finish by Anthony Gordon. 4-0 on aggregate. Game over. Well, it was game over on the third goal, I think, to be honest. Premier League could now punish players who do celebrations that mock or criticise. They will have a serious workload to do, says Howder. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Game's gone soft. Long journey home. Well, at least they got the weekend off, Arsenal. They don't play again for a week. Good defending by Newcastle. They're loving this. Botman. Well, they're going to Wembley in March, that's for sure. The thing is, though, statistically, Arsenal have had one shot on target. I was going to say, I don't really remember them doing anything. How much do you think Anthony Gordon's worth? Gordon's alive, says support. Mate, if you know, what film is that from? Gordon's alive. Wow, brilliant. It's probably a shit film if you watch it now, but I used to love it. I loved it as a kid. Gordon's alive. Flash, yes. Yeah, loads of you are around the right age. I love this. I love this community. Given organisations are piling on the games, what do you think about reusable subs similar to NBA to combat injuries, says Andrew? You know what? I think this is an interesting thing. Roll on, roll off subs. Yeah, I think it might be a good idea. Arman says, hello from Dubai, Mark. I've got a flight at 5 a.m. It's currently 1 a.m. Need some help staying up. What's your favourite energy? Caffeinated drink? I try not. I'm not very good with caffeine. You know, I get like panic attacks and heart palpitations. So I try not to do the old caffeine thing. Trying to think what I'd do if I want to stay awake. I don't know. Help him out. Help a brother out. Next year FC, says Baron. Premier League. Thank you very much, Howder. There we go. Yeah, how much do I think Anthony Gordon's worth? He's definitely north of 80, isn't he? I mean, let's start the bidding at 80 million. He's such an important player for Newcastle as well. You know, when I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, and I didn't get it with Anthony Gordon at Everton. I really didn't. I just thought he was overhyped. I didn't think he was a bad player. I could see the potential, but I thought he was overhyped. Because remember, it was actually Chelsea who offered. Didn't Chelsea offer 40 million for him before he went to Newcastle a few months before? I think it was the window before that. So he was obviously well scouted, like by Newcastle and Chelsea, but I never really got it. But he is a fantastic player. Should be starting for England. He's miles better than Grealish and Sancho and Rashford, etc. There's already 24 in a couple of weeks. I thought it was only 22. Yeah, toothless Arsenal though. But it's clever what Newcastle have done. I mean, look, what I will say is I've played the game, and I said it at the start of the game. Eddie Howe could have played this game two ways, and he deserves a load of credit. He's gone with the back five and countered, and it's worked perfectly. My fear was, if they'd gone with the back five and blown it, you'd be like, you should have just gone with your normal game plan because you're at St James's Park. But it's been perfect. They knew Arsenal were going to try and score goals, and it's going to leave space at the back. And they've countered fantastically well, and they defended fantastically well. But there's just no way Arsenal are going to score goals against this Newcastle defence. You could see it from the first 5 minutes. And he's got nothing to throw on up front. I mean, it's Sterling, Moreno and Calafiori. James says, do you remember Eurotrash? I remember Channel 4 being a little bit weird. The Word as well. Havertz goes down. Didn't look like a foul to me. It's a good kick by Raya, but I don't think there's a foul here. I really don't. No. It's never a foul. Havertz just barges into him. But I'm just saying it on Twitter there. I mean, it's games like this and the FA Cup game against United where you really see how redundant Havertz is as a striker. I mean, that's Arsenal's striker. That's the guy they want to get them out of trouble. And he's not it. He's not it. I still think to this day, I don't know what Arsenal fans think. I don't think Havertz is useless. I think he has uses. I never would have thought as a striker. I don't really understand why they did the deal. That was the time to buy a striker, not another number 10 who can play as a striker. Do you remember Brookside? I never watched it, Jason. Oh, I'll tell a lie. I watched it for a couple of weeks when Anna Frail became a lesbian in it. And that's not shallow. Everybody did, because it was actually, it's got nothing to do with what you see. You've all outed yourself now as filth. It was actually innovative for its time. It was the first time a soap had ever tackled homophobia and same-sex relationships. And I was like, as somebody who's, you know, very cultural, I was like, I'll have a bit of that. That's up my street. I'll observe this for the first time on TV, a same-sex relationship, and just see how it goes down in the country psyche. So I wanted to analyse it and watch it. So I did for a couple of weeks. Yeah, a lot of people felt the same. It was a very popular show for those couple of weeks. Mr. Starfish says, predict the Super Bowl. The Chiefs will win it. I'm telling you now. Another corner from Arsenal. They're rubbish at corners now. Everyone panic. Sterling is on, says Josh. Ange is winning the Carabao. We'll be there, says Scrog. You be out tomorrow night, mate. Both Arsenal and Newcastle are very inconsistent, says comments. I think Arsenal would have had a better chance of beating Liverpool in the final. But two best midfields in the league. They're breaking away again. Isak keeps it in. Well played, Declan Rice. How do you deal with people who hate you since there's so many, says Ali. What do you mean so many people hate me? I get told about this. I don't see any of it. So I genuinely don't. I'm not aware of it. I suppose if you spend your time searching up your name on social media, you probably would find it. But why would you do that? It's like someone saying, that pub down the road, everybody fucking hates you. Why would you go in it? So, I just don't see it. And also, most of it's based on half-truths and lies and jealousy, isn't it? So, they must be very hateful people. Unhappy people, I think. I think anybody who hates on people is unhappy themselves. Live a life without hate. Hate just hate eats you up. It's a negative. Arsenal on the attack, into the box. It's not a bad cross. Where's the striker? He's literally saying, Wanyeri is saying, where is the striker there? Trying to put a cross in, no one there. Doesn't do anything wrong here. It's not a bad cross, there's just no one there. Should have bought a striker. Mazzy says, Anthony and Mount cost us 140 million, Mark. We could have spent on a 100 million player. Who would you get in that summer we got Mount? I can't remember, mate. I mean, I'm just going to make myself sound like a hipster now and say, yeah, I'd have got Belieber and any player. I just picked three players that. When did we get Mount? It wasn't last summer. It was the summer before, wasn't it? Yeah. It's 18 months ago. Gravenberch, Belieber. Isak was already at Newcastle. Gordon was already at Newcastle. Don't get Tonali because he would have had his ban. I've already got Gravenberch and Belieber anyway. Mercer said this was AC Milan's window. Walker, João Felix, Ricardo, Sotti, Santiago Jimenez, all loans. Zalewski, Bondo as well. I mean, that's a summer transfer window in January. And I like the signing of Jimenez. I do. I'm very interested to see how he's going to do. Oh, God, I'm so tired. I slept well last night as well. Gordon down the left-hand side. For me, man of the match. Do Manchester United need to win the FA Cup, says Mr. Starfish? No, we need to win the Europa League. If we don't win the Europa League, we need to win the FA Cup and get back in the Europa League, yeah. But the Europa League would get us in the chat. We need to be in Europe or we're fucked. Basically, Man United are going to be screwed if they're not in Europe. Things more likely than Spurs doing the double. Me starting up front for Manchester United. I mean, double. Things more likely than Spurs winning a trophy. One trophy. Sterling's been a bad loan, hasn't he, as well? I don't know what happened to Sterling because as much as he's never been my favourite sort of player because he played for Liverpool and Man City, I've got to admit, you know, his record at one point was actually very good. I think he's just probably... I mean, he's not as old as you think either, is he? I think he's just fell out of love with football. Don't forget to download the Sleeper app and give it a go, by the way. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. You'll enjoy it. Elliot McMullen says, I agree with James. Marge Simpson would get it. Mate, I don't... It is after 9 o'clock. I don't know where, but I have seen, like, what do they call it? Simpsons porn. I saw a clip of it a few years ago. I don't know why I did. I must have been on the train and somebody had it in front of me, because I would never go on to that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a weird one, that. I don't know how that works. I think I'd prefer songs of praise than cartoons. It does exist, yes. You'll all be looking at it tonight. I think it's The Voice with Marge. Mark, can we get an Arteta out? Says Steve T. Well, they'll all be back again tonight, won't they? But I think surely Arteta has shielded himself with his comments he made yesterday that he was disappointed that they didn't get a striker and frustrated by it. So is it really Arteta's fault when he wanted a striker and he didn't get one? I think I have heard Arsenal fans blaming him before, but I think it's very clear at the moment that it's not Arteta that's the problem there, is it? Either or, Marge Simpson or I'm trying to think. I don't watch cartoons. Jessica Rabbit's a bit out of the... going back a bit. You know, Jessica Rabbit was married to Roger. Bet he gave her a right Roger in. Jessica Rabbit was a rabbit. That's why she was called Jessica Rabbit. Ali says, have you ever lifted weights? Not really my thing, mate, no. Zayn Miassi says it's a wake up. We've got the league and the Champions League to focus on. Mate, you ain't winning the league, and you know you're not winning the league. You probably had more chance of winning the Carabao Cup than you do the league. You're not winning the league. You know you're not winning the league, Zayn, and you know why you're not winning the league, and it's because you'll have a game like this that will cost you points, and that'll be it. Rinse Clear says, who the hell hates Mark? He's too funny to hate. Oh, mate, there are apparently people out there. How did Arsenal get 30 million for Nketiah? He hasn't even scored a league goal for them yet. Mate, I said it at the time the Spurs way. Crystal Palace, what were you thinking? Look at the pace of Isak there. I hope he hasn't pulled his hamstring. Yeah, but yeah, going back to that. I remember saying it a few months ago, though. I said it a few months ago, like, why did Crystal Palace spend £30 million on Nketiah? Brilliant bit of business by Arsenal, but just absolutely stupid. And the thing is as well, he couldn't score the goals for Arsenal in a good Arsenal team. So Crystal Palace aren't as good as Arsenal, and you're going to get less chances. So if you can't score goals... some people have this myth that a striker that can't score goals in a decent team is suddenly going to be able to score goals in a worse team. It doesn't actually stack up that way, does it? Because he's still playing in the same league, and it will be harder. I'm disappointed in Fulkrug. I really thought he was going to be a good signing for West Ham, but again, you just never know. Like a player can be really good for their national team and in a certain league, but there's plenty of players that have come from the Bundesliga and just not been able to do it. I mean, Man United have had a few. Kagawa, Mkhitaryan, Van de Beek, Dutch league to be fair. Gordon or Wirtz at Man United, says Benji. I take what I know, Gordon, because what if Wirtz doesn't work? Fulkrug has been injured a lot, yes. Jessica Rabbit wasn't a rabbit, says Mark Holder. What? Well, that's incest then. No, it's not, it's bestiality. Look, she's a human. And he's a rabbit. That means a rabbit is shagging a human. Oh. I don't think I've watched that film for years anyway. I don't like it where they put the little letter in the acid. It's just cruel. I don't need to see stuff like that. Trick says he didn't even look like a rabbit. I know, but I thought because she was called Jessica Rabbit, she was a rabbit. But then I've realised she's probably married to Roger Rabbit, so her second name's Rabbit. Matthew says, Mark, what have Forest got right this season, and do you think it's sustainable or a one-season wonder, says Matthew. Well, it's funny because we were talking about this on the United stand about Forest, and basically I was saying, like, the pathway back for Man United, they've got to spend money as quickly as they can on the best quality they can get, because that's the pathway to success. There is no pathway example I can think of where somebody hasn't done it without money. You've got to recruit quality, and that costs money. It doesn't mean you've got to spend £100 million on every player. I mean, that Dorgu we've got from Lecce could be the right quality for £20 million. And then somebody said, well, Forest haven't spent money. And I was like, well, they bloody well have. They've spent so much money, they nearly got into trouble with FFP. They have spent money. Having said that, they shouldn't be in the top four. I don't think they've bought that level of... They've not spent that level of money. They are certainly overachieving, but they have spent money, and they've spent well. I mean, that Milenkovic they bought at the back, I remember him at Fiorentina being linked to Man United and Spurs and Chelsea, and he ends up at Nottingham Forest. So it's good recruitment, isn't it? I think the playing field has changed, has levelled out so much now. I think everybody pretty much plays the same style of football, high intensity press. And I think everybody at the moment has sort of looked at Brighton and gone, like, you need to be looking all over the place for players that suit your system. And I think it's sort of levelled things out a bit. Things more likely than Spurs qualifying tomorrow, says Josh. Mate, I'm tired. I can't think of things more likely. Stuart says Forest are there by merit. I think everybody's where they deserve to be. I mean, how many games have we had? 25 games? Everybody's where they should be. No one's got a points deduction. All right, Everton weren't where they should have been last year because they had points took off them. But Manchester United are exactly where they should be and exactly where they deserve to be. In the last few weeks, we've lost at home to Crystal Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Not Arsenal, not Man City. We're losing to teams that are in the top four, in the bottom half, in the middle. We deserve to be exactly where we are. I said this on the United stand, if you take Manchester United's name away and look at that team, it's no better than where it is. It's only the name of Manchester United that's making everyone go, oh my God, look at where they are, or laughing at it. But we are where we deserve to be. Spurs are where they deserve to be. Bournemouth are where they deserve to be. Forest are everybody's where they deserve to be at the moment. Spurs Cup win is more likely than Arsenal buying a centre-forward. Says the Wrestle Rant. Matthew, thank you very much for your Forest question, by the way. Very good. Still 15 minutes to go here. I mean, I think the embarrassing thing for Arsenal here is to be 4 goals without reply. To not score a goal would be the humiliating thing for them here. X says, I really enjoyed your video about the land. Thank you, mate. We'll try and do some more of that stuff as well. Oh, this I just had a message about this Black Sabbath concert on the 5th of July at Villa Park. That'll be big. That'll be big. What's the weather tonight? Jorginho's on to score the goals. He's going to score 6 in 2 minutes. -3. Bloody hell, that is cold. Oh, okay. I've lost me a chat. Yeah, disappointed with Arsenal, got to say. I mean, we're here to watch football at the end of the day. And Scholes beats Fabregas 67% to 33%. I think Arsenal have been not entertaining, to be honest with you. I didn't read that recipe right. I thought that 2-0 down, they'd come to St James's Park and be creative and on the front foot, and it's just not been that. Newcastle have been the better attacking side, which means they've been the better team, haven't they? Matthew says, mainstream media is destroying football. Would That's Football ever expand into producing a newsletter or written content? Potentially could do, Matthew, yeah. It just needs to, build out, doesn't it? We're a small team. How many Arsenal players get into the Liverpool 11, says Off the Post? This is a good question. Well, Alisson would be, Trent would be, Van Dijk would be. I'd like to play Van Dijk and Gabriel, but they both play on the left-hand side. I don't know whether I'd put Konate behind Saliba, so I'd probably say no. Left back, obviously, is going to be Andy Robertson still. Into the midfield, I would find a place for Declan Rice. I certainly would, and I would find a place for Odegaard as well. So I think that's where Arsenal would get 2 players in. I like Alexi McAllister and I like Gravenberch. Pick one of those 2 to go with Rice and Odegaard. Right hand side, it's Salah, even if Saka's fit. Left hand side, I'm going to go. I'm going Liverpool on both. Like whether I go Jota, Diaz or Gakpo, Diaz, I'm going Liverpool front 3 anyway. So the only 2 I could get in would be Rice and Odegaard. Because you can't put Gabriel and Van Dijk together because, you're just forcing it. And that's worrying from Arsenal's point of view, isn't it? I mean, that just shows you Arsenal expect to win the league and actually, man for man, they're not actually as good as Liverpool. I'm not doing Liverpool. I am doing Everton Liverpool next week. I'm not doing Liverpool Spurs tomorrow because I'm out. And I actually think it could go the same way as this. I've got a stomachache and I don't know why. This happened to me last night as well. It must be something I'm eating that's giving me... Oh, he wants a penalty. No. You're not getting one for that, Havertz. Mr. Tumble. That's not a penalty. He jumps into people. That's the second time he's done that. Watch Havertz. He jumps into defenders. He initiates the foul and then wants a foul. He's such a bad striker, for fuck's sake. If you're an Arsenal fan, you can't be dealing with that. He's like work experience. He's crap. That's the guy leading your line that you want to win trophies and titles with. And look, he'll score you the 3rd goal against Man City and he'll score you a goal against bloody West Ham. But in the big games, he ain't it. He's not a striker. There's no way. There's no way he's a striker. And I know your next game against Leicester, you'll probably score a hat-trick, but I'll say, yeah, you got knocked out by Man United, you got knocked out by Newcastle with him up front. In the big games, he ain't the guy. He ain't the guy. You could argue that Newcastle's front three is better than Arsenal's, actually. Murphy, Isak and Gordon is better than Saka, Havertz and Martinelli. Well, it is. Their midfield's better as well. If anyone who's asking about my eye, I don't know what I did it. I woke up yesterday morning and got out the shower and then I just had this and I was like, what the fuck's happening to me? So I googled it and it's well, I've had it before anyway. It's a burst blood vessel, but you normally do it from straining, so lifting something or banging it. You can do it on the toilet, but thankfully I never strain because I have a good fibre-filled diet, but I don't know what did it. That was the funny thing. So 2 weeks apparently. That was a good question from Off the Post. Howder says, I need a recipe to make the humbling pie that Arsenal fans like these days. Anyone have it lying around? Is it any good? Cologne is winning against Leverkusen, thought, says William. Leverkusen have fell off, haven't they, this year? It was never going to be sustainable. I mean, they were brilliant last year, but... Well, I say they fell off. They're second, aren't they? And to be fair, you're never going to sustain it against Bayern Munich. Rohan says, it's part of being a Man United fan, the price we pay. Will the Arsenal golden generation ever win major silverware? Look, I do have sympathy. Like, you want to win the league, you want to win the Champions League, and they're hard to win. But you've got to come out of this with something. And I know you'd rather win the league than the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but to continually win nothing. And the problem is they're not downing tools on these trophies, are they? They wanted to win both these games and they've lost both these games. They wanted to beat Man United in the FA Cup and they lost. So it's not like they're picking their reserves. Like, they are trying to win the games and they're not winning them. And it's so simplistic. It really is. They're just not a threat against good defences. And I think in some ways the Man City result clouded the real issue. I'd take Nketiah over Havertz, as Thomas Joyce. Nick says, has Arsenal given up? They've been rubbish since 50 minutes. The game sums up Arsenal season. Not good enough. First super chat. Thank you very much, Nick. Josh says, are you a good baker? Brownies are elite. I am quite good at baking, actually. I just don't do it very much. Oh, my God. Still 5 minutes to go. Muck out your old stable or dinner with Luckhurst, is curious. I'd have dinner with Luckhurst just to shut him up. Talk football, he'll be silent. You should do Madrid and Barcelona watch-along, says Darlin. I never really know when they're playing. I never really anticipate it. That's the problem. Are you going to do a match reaction? Yes. Yes. Should have been a red for Declan Rice there, some people are saying. Oh, Callum Wilson does exist. He's coming on. Oh, God. Your favourite superhero, Batman or Superman? Definitely Batman. Arsenal in crisis? Yes. You read me like a book, mate. I don't think we've had an Arsenal in crisis video yet. No, I'm not doing Arsenal in Crisis. I'm not. I know what the title is. Off the post says, I'm a Liverpool fan. I feel sorry for Man United fans. That club has huge history, one of the best. I think the Prem needs United to be great. Mate, you know what? I appreciate that, because although we're massive rivals, I think there is a respect for the rivalry, even though we don't like each other as teams. But I've said this before. The shame on the Man United fan base, of which I am part of, is our inability to unite because we're too obsessed with dividing. Liverpool would not put up with this. I know for a fact that the Liverpool fan base would not put up with this. You can criticise Liverpool all you like, but they're very, very good at getting behind a cause and uniting. Man United, we can't do it. Can't do it because you've got too many people who are obsessed with, you're not a fan, I'm a better fan than you, and it makes it the perfect breeding ground for a Glazer ownership, because they know that we'll fight with each other rather than take them down. And at Liverpool, it wouldn't happen. They would have took the Glazers down years ago, because socially, what Liverpool Football Club is to them is more important than not coming together. So they would. And anyway, you can argue with me all you like about that, and I don't like it, but the bottom line is the Glazers would not have survived at Liverpool. It wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't put up with it. And it's a shame that we do. Do you think Spurs can scrape a result tomorrow, says Mason? No, I don't. I'd like them to, but I don't. I think it's a bad scoreline for Spurs, because they're 1-0 up, and the last thing you want them to be doing, the last thing you want Spurs to do is defend a lead. What's your opinion on Tonali? I'd absolutely loved him at United alongside Agate, says Piquet. I like Tonali. I think it's hopefully he's past his gambling issues, which were obviously very, very serious. But I liked Tonali before he was at AC Milan. I'm trying to remember the club that he was at, and I don't want to look at the chat. I always get it mixed up with Tonali. Was it Brescia? I was getting mixed up with Brescia, and I'm not going to be able to do it. It was Brescia. Well done. Thank you very much. I get him mixed up with somebody else. There's another midfielder from Italy. And I can't remember who he played for. I'm tired. I forget who it is. Good chance from a corner for Arsenal at last. Do you know why Man United haven't played in Tampa Bay, where the Glazers own there? Because they don't want the Man United players to get jealous. What a joke. Sully, I've answered. I think you're doing it on purpose. I genuinely think you're doing it on purpose. You can't have missed me answer that question a million times. Barella, that's the other one. And Barella played for, was it Calgary? I can never pronounce it. Locatelli is another one as well. There's a quiz question. Where did Barella and Locatelli come from before Inter and Juventus? I can't do the Sassuolo one either. You can stand under my umbrella, Barella. Yeah, I was right. I was right on Barella, and I was right on Tonali. Swivel on that. Cagliari and Brescia. Well done. Just couldn't remember the name Barella, which is worrying. Have a stretch, says Josh. I haven't had enough stretches today, actually. I normally stand up. I'm feeling a bit run down this week, though. One of my mates is off to Dubai tomorrow, and I was like, oh, I'd love to go. I don't even normally agree with like going somewhere hot in the winter, but I would love some warm weather at the moment. Do you watch the Eurovision? No, I don't, Mr. Starfish. Best Eurovision ever was when they did Riverdance. Oh, that 5 minutes is probably one of the best 5 minutes of TV ever. My bad, haven't heard you talk about that before, says Sully. So basically, the Tampa Bay thing was a story that the Glazers wouldn't let Man United, when they're on tour, go to Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they get jealous of the facilities. And a few people have asked me about it, Sully, and my answer to it is, if that story is true, it really does show how thick Man United players are, because you don't need to go to Tampa Bay Buccaneers to see what their facilities are like. You could just do a bloody Google search. I think Arsenal must... I want to know how many corners Arsenal have had. $12. Corner guys fell off. They'll score now. Yeah, keeper just catches it. Thanks everybody who subscribed, by the way. We are currently only 400 subscribers away from 1.3 million, so we're going to hit that soon. Absolute legends. Thank you very much for being part of the community. I'm going to do a match reaction as well on this, and I definitely think it's definitely worth doing because I think it's symbolic as well of what the problems are with. And that's the final whistle. So Newcastle are off to Wembley, and Arteta isn't. Simple as that. Arsenal are out. Arteta out. Arteta's out. Warm weather currently available in Australia, says Redback Spider. Season ender for Arsenal, surely, says PK. Who's better, Casillas or Buffon? I preferred Buffon off the post. And did you ever think that LVG sold RVP too early? Personally, I thought he should have stayed at least another year or two, says Cammy. He had started to fall off a bit. Right, thanks everyone for watching. I've got to go and do my match reaction. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and thanks for tuning in.